Marley was dead. Welcome back. I'm Keith Cate. After the chilling visit from Jacob Marley, Scrooge's long night continues, this time with a gentler spirit, the ghost of Christmas past. This spirit doesn't come to frighten him, but to remind him of who he once was. Together they journey through the shadows of memory, back to the classroom where a lonely boy sat forgotten, and to the joy and heartbreak that shaped the man Scrooge became. Dickens called this part of the story a reflection of truth, where even the coldest heart begins to thaw.
Another ghost of Marley. No. Ding dong, ding dong. It's a quarter past. It's a quarter past. Ding dong, ding dong. Half past. It's a half past.
Wait. Scrooge awoke to the chimes of a neighboring church. Then he remembered on a sudden that the ghost had warned him of a visitation when the bell tolled 1, and he resolved to lie awake until the hour was past. Ding dong, ding dong. That's it. It's a quarter to it. Ding dong, ding dong. The hour itself and nothing else. He spoke before the hour had sounded, which it now did, with a deep, dull, hollow melancholy. Light flashed in the room upon the instant, and the curtains of his bed were drawn aside. Drawn aside, I tell you, by a hand. And Scrooge now found himself face to face with the unearthly visitor who drew them. He was a strange figure, like a child, and yet not so much like a child as like an old man viewed through some supernatural medium, causing it to diminish to a childlike proportion. Its hair, which hung about its neck and down its back, was white, as if with age, and yet the face had not a wrinkle in it. It wore a tunic of the purest white. But the strangest thing about it was that from the crown of its head there sprung a bright, clear jet of light and a great extinguisher for a cap under its arm. Are you the spirit whose coming was foretold to me? I am. Well, who and what are you? I am the ghost of Christmas past. Long past? No, your past. Scrooge had a special desire to see that spirit in his cap and begged him to be covered. What? Would you so soon put out with your worldly hands the light I give? Well, what business brings you here? Your welfare. And I'm much obliged, but a night of unbroken rest would have been more conducive to that end. Your reclamation, then. Take heed. It put out its strong hand as it spoke and then clasped him gently by the arm. Walk with me. That grasp, though gentle as a woman's hand, was not to be resisted. But finding that the spirit made its way towards the window, Scrooge protested. Wait. Just wait. I am a mere mortal. I'm liable to fall. Bear but a touch of my hand upon your heart, and you shall be upheld in more than this. As the words were spoken, they passed through the walls and now stood upon an open country road. The city had entirely vanished. Wait. Good heavens. I was bred in this place. I was a boy here. You recollect the way? Remember it. I could walk it blindfolded. Strange to have forgotten it for so many years. They walked along the road, Scrooge recognizing every gate and post and tree. until a little market town appeared in the distance. Shaggy ponies now were seen, trotting towards them with boys upon their backs. And the boys were in great spirits, and they shouted to each other until the broad fields were so full of merry music that the crisp air laughed to hear it. Now remember, these are but shadows of the things that have been, said the ghost. They have no consciousness of us. But as those boys approached, Scrooge knew, and he named them every one. Why was he rejoiced beyond all bounds to see them? Why was his heart filled with gladness when he heard them give each other Merry Christmas as they parted at crossroads and byways for their several homes? I mean, what was Merry Christmas to Scrooge? Out upon Merry Christmas. The school is not quite deserted, said the ghost. A solitary child, neglected by his friends, is left there still. Yes. I know. Oh, I know. They approached a mansion of dull red brick with a cupola on the roof and a bell hanging in it. It was the boarding school. Entering the dreary hall, they found poorly furnished rooms, cold and vast. They went, the ghost and Scrooge, to a door at the back of the schoolhouse, and it opened before them to disclose a long, bare, melancholy room. And Scrooge could see that he was now looking upon his poor forgotten self as he used to be. Yeah, that poor boy. Well, that poor boy. Well, now I wish man, it's too late now. What is the matter? Nothing. There was a boy, and he was singing a Christmas carol at my door last night. I should have liked to have given him something, that is all. The ghost smiled thoughtfully and waved its hand, saying as it did so, Come, let us see another Christmas. Scrooge's former self grew larger at the words, and the room became a little darker and dirtier. But how all of this was brought about, Scrooge knew no more than you do. He only knew that it was quite correct, that everything had happened so that there he was, alone again, when all the other boys had gone home for the holidays. He was not reading now. He was walking up and down, despairingly. Suddenly, Scrooge glanced anxiously towards the door, and it opened, and a little girl, much younger than the boy, came darting in. She threw her arms about his neck and kissed him again and again and again. Oh, dear, dear brother, I have come to bring you home, dear brother, to bring you home. What? Home, little fan? Home? Yes, home forever and ever. Oh, Father is so much kinder than he used to be. He spoke so gently to me one night when I was going to bed that I was not afraid to ask him once more if you might come home. And he said, yes, you should. And he sent me in a coach to bring you. And you are to be a man and never to come back here again. But first, we are to be together all the Christmas long and have the merriest time in the world. And she began to drag him in her childish eagerness towards the door, and he, nothing loath to go, accompanied her. Always such a delicate creature, whom a breath might have withered, said the ghost. But she had a large heart. Yes, so she had. You're right. But I'll not gainsay it, Spirit. God forbid. Well, she died a woman and had, as I think, children. There's one child. Oh, true, yes. Your nephew, Fred. Yeah, Fred. At that moment, they left the boarding school behind. They were now in the city, and it was Christmas time again. But it was evening now, and the city streets were lighted up. The ghost stopped at a certain warehouse door and asked Scrooge if he knew it. Know it? I was apprenticed here. They went inside. An old gentleman in a Welsh wig was sitting behind a high desk. Why, it's old Fezziwig. It is Fezziwig, to be sure, said Scrooge. Old Fezziwig put down his pen and looked up at the clock, which pointed to the hour of 7. Rubbing his hands together, he called out, Yo-ho there, Ebenezer, dig! Scrooge's former self, now grown a young man, came briskly in, accompanied by his fellow apprentice. "What is that? That is Dick Wilkins," said Scrooge. "That is Dick Wilkins, to be sure. Yo-ho-ho, my boys. No more work tonight. Christmas Eve, Dick. Christmas, Ebenezer. Now, let's have those shutters up before a man can say, Jack Robinson." You wouldn't believe how those two fellas went at it. Oh, they charged into the street with the shutters. 1, 2, 3 had them up in their places. 4, 5, 6 barred them and pinned them. 7, 8, 9 came back, panting like racehorses before you could have got to 12. Ha! Hilly-ho-ho-ho! Fezziwig skipped down from the high desk with wonderful agility. "Clear away, my lads, and let's have lots of room here." The floor was swept and watered. The lamps were trimmed, and fuel was heaped upon the fire, and the warehouse was as snug and warm and dry and bright a ballroom as you would desire to see upon a winter's night. In came a fiddler with a music book, and he went up to the lofty desk, and he made an orchestra of it, tuning like 50 stomach aches. In came Mrs. Fezziwig. One vast, substantial smile. In came the 3 Miss Fezziwigs, beaming and lovable. In came the 6 young followers whose hearts they broke. In came all the young men and women employed in the business. In came the housemaid with her cousin, the baker. In came the cook with her brother's particular friend, the milkman. In came the boy from over the way. In they all came, one after another. There were dances. There were some forfeits. And more dances. Oh, there was cake. And there was port. There was a great piece of cold roast. And mince pies and plenty of beer. But the greatest effect of the evening came when the fiddler struck up Sir Roger de Coverley. And old Fezziwig stood out to dance with Mrs. Fezziwig. Top couple, too, with a good stiff piece of work cut out for them. 24 pair of partners. People who were not to be trifled with. Oh, but if there had been twice as many, 4 times as many, old Fezziwig would have been matched for them. And so would Mrs. Fezziwig. Now, when the clock struck 11, this domestic ball broke up. And Mr. and Mrs. Fezziwig took their stations, one on either side of the door, and shook hands with every person individually as he or she went out, and wished him or her a very merry Christmas. Scrooge and the ghost again stood side by side in the open air. Such a small matter to make these silly folks so full of gratitude, said the ghost. He has spent but what, a few pounds of your mortal money? 3 or 4, perhaps? It isn't that, Spirit. He had the power to render us happy or unhappy, to make our service light or burdensome, pleasure or a toil. No, the happiness he gave is quite as great as if it cost a fortune. My time grows short. Quick, said the ghost. Now, this was not addressed to Scrooge, but it produced an immediate effect, for once again Scrooge saw himself. He was older now, a man in the prime of his life, but he was not alone. He sat by the side of a fair young girl, in whose eyes there were some tears. Another idol has displaced me, and if it can cheer and comfort you in time to come as I would have tried to do, then I have no just cause to grieve. Well, what idol has displaced you? Demanded young Ebenezer. Well, a golden one. I have seen your noble aspirations fall off one by one until the master passion gain engrosses you. Have I not? Well, I have grown wiser, but I'm not changed toward you. Oh, but you are changed. Can I believe that you would choose a poor, dowerless girl? No, I release you with a full heart for the love of him you once were. May you be happy in the life you have chosen. And so she left him. Belle! Spirit, show me no more. Conduct me home. Why do you delight to torture me? I told you, these are but shadows of the things that have been. They are what they are. Do not blame me. Well, remove me. I cannot bear it. Just leave me. Take me back and haunt me no longer. Scrooge observed that the ghost light was burning high and bright, and connecting that with its influence over him, he seized that extinguisher cap and by a sudden action pressed it down upon its head. The spirit dropped beneath it so that the extinguisher cap covered its whole form. But though Scrooge pressed it down with all his force, he could not hide the light which streamed from under it in an unbroken flood upon the ground. He was suddenly conscious of being exhausted and overcome by an irresistible drowsiness. And furthermore, of being in his own bedroom. He barely had time to reel himself to bed before he sank into a heavy sleep. The ghost of Christmas past has opened Scrooge's eyes to what was lost and what might still be found. But the night isn't over. Coming next time, a towering figure draped in green, the ghost of Christmas present, who will reveal the world as it truly is and how much Scrooge has yet to see. I'm Keith Cate. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon for part 4 of A Christmas Carol.